Sup, you fools! Mad ESC United. Guess what? Your favorite Eurovision channel. Welcome to yet another episode of Mattitude, the Eurovision live stream where we are going to talk about all things Eurovision. We're going through the news of the week, anything Eurovision related, and talk it through, share our thoughts, our opinions, and then also answer your questions. It's a lot of fun, and I don't want to do this alone all the time, so I brought along my good friend Sebastian from Destination Eurovision. No relations to the French national selection. Sebastian, why don't you introduce yourself real quick to those who don't know you yet, what you do and your platform.
Hello everybody, hello Matt, and hello all of our viewers. My name is Sebastian Mnich. I come from Poland and I'm lead editor and person who invite Destination Eurovision. As Matt said, we are not connected with French press elections. We are 4 months before them, so they steal the name from us, not we.
I know.
It was pretty funny coincidence that happened that time. We are the international team who trying to cover all Eurovision news, but also we are very delighted to make some live streams, interviews, video materials, and also trying to bring all Eurovision sources around the world to make sure that we are all happy family and we are knowing each other. We are trying to do some things with partnership and cooperation as much as possible.
Yes, exactly. We love to work together, and I've always very fond memories of us in Lisbon in particular, because to those, you know all the logistics, how it works. I forgot what time the rehearsal started. Like, say it's 10 in the morning. They usually would allow us to get in like at 9:30. So I usually was the one that showed up like at 9:15 just to get a good spot in line. Just to make sure that I get my seat, and there are usually like 3 or 4 people in front of me, and it's not many people because there's only one line, and it's always Sebastian, number 1 or 2 in line. You are always the very first person. I'm like, dang it, I cannot beat you. Except there was one day, I'm sure you remember, one day I was there before you, and I was like, oh my god, he got mugged on the way or something. He did not make it. That was the only day. That's like one of my memories I always have of you. And you were actually one of the ones that always were like the first one in the arena and like the last one out there. Because we were usually one of the last ones. So it was usually you, us, and maybe Wee Wee Blocks who were always there all day. But it seems like you were a very hard worker. So I always had fond memories of that.
Thank you so much for this kind words.
Not a problem. So it's true. I only tell the truth. By the way, hello everyone in the chat as well. There is Eurotrash is back. How are you doing, my friend? Eurovision Online is back. Neil's Reviews Music. Donut. Love that name. Donut, but I love donuts. My Krispy Kreme donuts here in the United States. Vladimir Pinovsky. I will be in Tel Aviv. Well, I hope I see you there as well, because I am so going. So once again, if you're new to the stream, we're going to talk about the news of the week and just share our thoughts. And then you can ask us questions throughout the process as well. Try to stay on topic. So when we talk about something, try not to ask questions about that are unrelated so we can stay on track. But at the very end, we will have an open Q&A where you can ask us virtually anything as long as it's appropriate. And that's basically what we're going to do here. Anything else I've missed, Sebastian, before we get going?
I think that we can already start.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So what I'll do here real quick is... Oops, I'm clicking the wrong button here. The first topic we're going to talk about guys, in case I'm like being really confusing here, I lost my mouse just broke, so I'm using the pad on my laptop to kind of work it. But here, we are going to talk about something that was just revealed basically about 48 hours ago now. We got the first snippet, the first picture drawing, computer graphic of the stage that we can... of the 2019 stage in Tel Aviv. Let me put that on the screen right now here, so you can see it. So this is what it's going to look like, and as you can see, it has a pretty interesting, it's like a diamond-shaped form, and the stage itself is also the diamond-shaped kind of thing, and the lighting with the roof and all of that, how it bends up, it's all just that theme. And the stage, probably not as big as some of the other stages, but you can see there is like this pit in front, right there, where probably the diehard OJE fans will probably be located at, or maybe some others. We don't know how they're going to do it, but that's where they're going to be. Then they have a little bridge thing on both sides, which then on the side leads up to the stairs that will take you up there. And then the very top is the ceiling, obviously, which is always there. But I think they really tried to make the stage matched with the actual roof slash ceiling of the arena, which I think is very interesting. So I posted it, of course, on social media and to get some initial reactions and opinions. And I must say, I got overall a pretty good reception from people, and which is usually unexpected because people tend to be a little bit more critical than supportive, which is common human nature, I guess. So let me hand this over to you, Sebastian. What was your impression of the stage? Any thoughts? Any what you wish they would have done, or anything that you really like in particular?
I was quite satisfied about this project because I always have in mind that this stage place where Eurovision gonna take place itself is gonna be the smallest probably from 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of changes for this next year Eurovision Song Contest. So quite honestly, I don't have some idea or some ready project in my mind, which I think, okay, it's gonna be look the best in case of the Eurovision. But fact of the matter is that I like this project. It's quite classy and elegant in the same time, which think it's gonna be not forgettable since the years we're gonna go after the Tel Aviv. But fact of the matter is that I read some comments about people thoughts about the stage.
Yeah.
And some of them make me laugh because people stated that Illuminati will be very glad about how concept works because of a lot of triangles.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh god, they don't own triangles.
I know.
That is funny.
I know.
That is funny. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that is funny. By the way, guys, everyone out there, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. Make sure to put at ESC United so I can see that they're directed at us, and then we'll go from there. Now, as you pointed out, Sebastian, it is on the smaller side, the smallest since 2000 you said, and
Yeah.
I personally, I mean, we got to be honest, the problem is there, and I support a smaller stage only for the reason that it is a very small arena, up to 9,000 seats. So if they were to put up a stage that's like, I don't know, Copenhagen 2014, we would have like 15 people that could fit in the whole thing, the arena. So they have to really be effective and efficient with the room in there, because the smaller the stage, the more people fit in. The bigger the stage, the less folks will be able to watch it live, and they know that they have to make a compromise there. Honestly, I'm okay with the smaller stage this year. Just like last year, Lisbon, as we all know, and a lot of fans were upset. They didn't have LEDs. I was okay with no LEDs for a year because it gave forced the delegations to be more creative with their staging and rely on props rather than just having a pretty backdrop and just standing there. They actually had to do more and think it through. That doesn't mean I want every year like that, but for 1 year, it's okay. So the same way I feel about a smaller stage. It's going to be probably a little bit more of a challenge, moving around like you were used to. But I like the idea that for 1 year, they have to try something different there as well. I don't want to have small stages every single year, but for 1 year, I'm okay with it. It switches things up, and I'm cool with that. But Sebastian, the most important thing is, and I think a lot of fans, as I just pointed out, LEDs are back. How do you feel about that? You're glad they're back?
Yeah, I think this kind of rotation of the technical things, rotation of the graphical science, and rotation of every aspect is pretty cool from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, I'm also do not have any problem with small stages. I remember Baku 2012. For me, from the TV perspective, it's so huge scene when we can put, I don't know, 100 people and 3 houses there, and still you have some space to move. And after that, we get Malmö in 2013. Stage is so small. Arena is so pretty, and for me it's one of the most beautiful Eurovisions in the history of the contest.
Oh, really?
So fact of the matter is, yeah, definitely. So fact of the matter is, I'm pretty okay with the size of the stage, and I'm pretty okay that LED is back. I like this move also in Lisbon because it means from the delegations, it takes from artists more creativity.
Yes, creativity, absolutely.
And this is really, really good thing for Eurovision at this point. But right now, LED needs some day to come back, and I'm pretty okay. It's gonna be Israel after 20 years.
Yes. Now, I completely agree with that. And ESVLV97 Karens is asking, did you expect something like that? Like the stage that we have right now, or more? Like, were your expectations met, Sebastian? Were you exceeded, or you're below expectations? What was your impression when you saw the stage?
I think right now with this few pictures, just the promo, just the tease of the stage, I'm excited. I'm really okay, and I think it's gonna be really, really nice
Yeah.
stage.
I'm actually, yeah, I'm not trying to be like a tough. I would say they met expectations. Not saying because I don't like the stage, but just because I have so many high expectations when they come to Israel, because I know they will throw everything but the kitchen sink at us when it comes to hosting. I knew that they are in it. Like, they're not going to do a half-ass job here. They really want to impress. So I knew that they would come up with something that would be smaller but yet effective. And I think on this one, it really comes down to the camera work. Because they said that they want to create a stage that is different for every performance. Every performance will shine. And I think that's what it comes down to. I feel as this will be more of an intimate Eurovision, because they're probably going to be more close-ups than usual, because it's a smaller stage. So I'm really curious. I like that now they once again, yes, they have LEDs, but now they have to rethink what they're going to do based on the limited space that is available on stage. And I'm not sure if you knew, Sebastian, but they saying, or at least it's being rumored, rumor has it, that they're going to put 7,500 tickets on sale for the public, and then there will be also a couple of thousand tickets, allegedly for the separate green room, which is in the first pavilion, not the second pavilion. Am I correct? Is that what they're trying to do?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
So that is definitely what's going to happen. So I think overall, let me see if there are other things. 2015 and 2019 triangles Illuminati confirmed. Jesus. Let's see what they're going to have in store for us.
As you see, I'm not the one. I'm not the one.
That is true. That is really funny. So I'm really excited about the stage. Granted, this is just one not random, but one teaser, one snippet. We haven't seen how the lighting is going to work. Like, I remember in 2015, the Austrian stage, we didn't know all those lamps and lights that would come down, all this stuff, until a later point. So I'm sure we may be in a surprise here as well about this year. There will be some other surprise that we do not expect, because again, it's Israel and they don't mess around. They're going to put forward something pretty cool. Somebody is saying that would be an interesting idea. 1 year LEDs and the next year no LEDs. Which is basically what we said, Sebastian, right? I mean, I don't know if I wanted switching around every single year, but I certainly can see, like, every few years, just to kind of, see what they can come up with. And there's...
Yes, of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, of course, it's no need to make some standard rule that 1 year it should be LED and 1 year it should be without LED. Many things are connected with the countries, with the cities which we're trying to be the host, with the arenas, with the places. So I think that in natural way, some countries will resign from LEDs from time to time, and some will just push everything to do it.
Yes.
So it's just the natural thing.
Yeah. Shrulik Sant is saying something interesting. Not sure if you heard about this, Sebastian. According to an interview with Khan, which is the Israeli broadcaster, they are planning on having balconies built to bring in 2,000 extra seats. Have you heard about that?
No, I don't.
I haven't heard about that either. That is an interesting undergoing. I mean, building balconies is not an easy task. That is crazy, because if you have 2 balconies, I don't know, and 1,000 people on each, you have to be able to support that kind of weight. And I don't know how tall, how high up the ceiling is. I need to look at videos of the arena. But what do you think of that idea?
Wow, I'm pretty shocked about this news. I haven't heard about it as
Me neither.
Earlier. As long it's gonna be safe, as you said, because it's really building and fundamentals thing, how you can just push these all people standing or sitting there. I think it's pretty wise idea, because from my point of view, I get used to the fact that Eurovision stages and Eurovision arenas are big in some way, somehow. So fact of the matter is that we're gonna have 7,000 to 8,000 tickets to sell. Makes me wonder that so many people won't get these tickets because queue is gonna be so long and so many people will try to buy these tickets. So if can and organizers will do everything what they can to make some numbers,
yes,
increase them to 9,000 or 10,000, it always benefits the fans at the end of the day. So as long as it's gonna be safe, I'm really okay with that. It's gonna be a huge plus for the organizers. in
they're
this
being
case.
and they're being so creative about so many different things. So you got whether or not it's going to work out in the end, we have we have to wait and see. But at least they're being creative, so you got to give a lot of props about that. So I am
Yeah,
fairly optimistic about the stage. Yes, it may not be the craziest idea. I mean, it's technically only a diamond, right? You can say, well, that is as done before, especially if you think about Eurovision 2014. They had the whole Join Us Diamond thing as well, the sphere, as they call it. But let's just wait and see how it's going to look on stage, the dynamics and all of that. But first impression, I think both of us agree, thumbs up. Some thumbs
it's
up.
really good.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's really good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. So this is, of course, the holiday week in most countries, or a lot of countries, between Christmas and New Year's. In my country, we also have Kwanzaa and all of that stuff. But for the most part, this is where a lot of people are off. That means the news has been a little slower coming in, so there hasn't been a whole lot. So we want to use this opportunity to talk about some of the music that has been released, because 2 national finals basically will take place. There will be more, but 2 I want to talk about tonight are Spain and France, because Destination Eurovision, it's again a coincidence that you're here for that, Sebastian, but they're going to take place here in January, the 2 semis and the final, and we're going to have the Spanish folks, Operacion Triunfo. So we're going to talk about the songs a little bit. I did my reaction video, so are you ready to kind of go over those with me, Sebastian?
Of course, I'm
Of
more than
course.
ready.
Then let's start with Spain. Here we go. So, Spain, Operacion Triunfo, just a quick reminder to those who were not aware, Operacion Triunfo is a show that takes place in Spain, obviously, because it's Spain, Spanish national final. It's basically what I always refer to as Big Brother meets American Idol for us, where, it's basically they all live in the academy, the finalists, and they're being recorded as they're rehearsing and learning and living and all of that stuff, while then have a live show as well, where they get voted out one after another every week until we have a winner. And the show wrapped up a week or 2 ago now. I think it was a week ago. I don't remember. It's all a blur. But Famous won. Famous, the young singer, 19-year-old talented artist, won Operacion Triunfo. But that doesn't mean he is going to actually represent Spain at Eurovision, because they have this really wicked system in place where songwriters were sent in songs that they liked, and then they picked one of the finalists that or like one of the participants to sing the song. So the singer doesn't even get to pick the entry. And the interesting part is, and I'm super mad about it, because I think Famous is a very talented singer. I love his voice. It's deep, which is almost unusual because a lot of these younger folks have these high tenor voices. But he has something different to the table. I really enjoy that. So I think he would be a great singer option for Eurovision. However, he was only given 1 song, while another singer, I think his name is Miki, who finished in 6th or 7th place, got 3 songs. So, Sebastian, my first question to you is, what do you think about the selection method? Do you think I'm being overly dramatic about it, or do you don't like it either?
No, I'm not think so that you over dramatic. To be honest with you, I never have close eye on Spanish preselection in the past. I know that sometimes it was Operación Triunfo, sometimes it was internal selection, but I never I never pay attention so close to this preselection because of the format. We have Lithuania, if we're talking about overall about Eurovision selections, we have Spain. This is kind of
don't start with Lithuania. I'm going to rip out my hair.
Okay, so this is kind of countries which make a little bit of bizarre rules. This set of stages between semifinals, finals, quarterfinals, it's quite complicated for somebody who started with it for the first time. So I'm also can't understand why Famous, as the winner of Operación Triunfo, can be already a representative of Spain in Tel Aviv and just look for the proper song with few propositions or something other formula like that.
Netta in Israel, she won her show, right? So that is basically find the right song. I'm going to interrupt real quick because I see Yuri Tawali did a super chat. What's up, my friend? Thank you again for supporting our channel. You are the best. Hello, Matt, and frohe Weihnachten. I can't even speak German anymore. Weihnachten. I know how to say it. I have a question for you. What do you think is the strangest Eurovision song ever? Also, what's your choice for the worst Eurovision song? You have to say one. Thank you for being awesome. I'll give you a second to think about this yourself, Sebastian. I want you to pick your worst Eurovision song. I have one, and that wasn't even that long ago. It's Montenegro 2012, Euro Neuro. That song should there should be a law in place to never ever play that song again. That's how horrible it is, and I think he is the reason actually Montenegro 2012, along with Engelbert Dimperhunk, Dimperlumperhunk, that we now have the producer driven running order because it was the very first song in the very first semi to perform. It's like the song scared of everybody. And it's like, oh my god, what is this? What is this? Nero, Nero, it's a constellation, a constipation, and a regulation. I'm like, you're just saying words that rhyme for the sake of rhyming, and oh gosh, it was so horrible. Oh, I'm like, I'm gonna give up my Eurovision fan card. That's how much I hated it, and I'm not ashamed to say that. Sebastian, give me a song.
It's funny. Thank you so much for this question because a year ago I'm trying to do something like my ranking of songs which appeared in Eurovision in 21st century. So right now I have easier job to choose the one, and my choice is Voki mit dem Popo, so song also from Baku but Austria this time.
Real quick, I see that we have a celebrity in the house. Bilal Hassani, the French national final representative, is in our chat. Well, I don't want to spoil it too much. We're going to talk about France in just a moment. But I think you will not be disappointed from what I have to say about your song. So we wish you the best of luck. I don't want to spoil it just yet, but hello, hello, hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Oh yeah, bonjour. Ça va bien, merci. Et toi? I'm just trying to remember all the French I remember from school. I don't speak anything. I can't sing a song. Salut, ça va? Oui, ça va, et toi? You know, just like really random stuff. Anyway, so yes. I'm sorry, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem at all. I'm talking about Voki mit dem Popo from Austria, also
yeah.
Baku 2012. And if we're talking about the worst song, this is one for me. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at stage. Lyrics doesn't make sense. This guy doesn't make sense. For me, it's kind of rubbish song, which some of the countries like to push sometimes because they don't want to have Eurovision for next year or they don't care about Eurovision for this year. Sometimes shit happens, sorry for these words. And from my point of view, when we look for the Austria, when we look for Conchita, when we look for Nathan Trent, when we look for Cesar Samson, who done an amazing job this year, Track Shitas was absolutely shit. So for me, this song is probably one of the worst in 21st century, maybe ever. Huge possibility.
And there were a lot of candidates to choose from, obviously, right? It's the first one that comes to mind. There are a bunch of others that I don't have the time to go into right now, but I can totally see that. Yes, yes. I mean, as somebody says, you know, Austria basically was a rap song about shaking your butt. You know, shake your bum. It's like, oh my god, yeah, it was something to say.
Intellectual heritage.
Yes. But get back on topic now to talk about Spain. So we talked about the selection, and we both say it's not necessarily the most effective way. And I agree with you. I didn't watch the Operacion Triunfo either because it's unrelated to Eurovision, basically. And the problem is a lot of the acts reportedly are not even interested in going to Eurovision, right? They're just doing that for the national fame and recognition. So they're like, hey, if you may go to Eurovision, they're like, okay, I don't know, you know. So it's same with Alfred and Amaya. They were not even crazy about going to Eurovision. And then Famous, who actually won, wants to go to Eurovision, but he only gets one song assigned, and that song, let's just say, is based on the 1 minute snippet, which is also basically just a demo. Underwhelming. Would you agree? What do you think about Famous's song that was given to him?
Unfortunately, the song is really, really mediocre. I was absolutely upset that the guy with this voice, the guy who we can translate this to Spanish, Cesar Samson, they even met, as we saw on the videos, because he sing "Nobody Like You." It's really disappointing. Really disappointing. These guys have soul in his body. This guy have so deep, crazy, talented voice. You can do it with it all you can want, really. Just space is the limit. And he gets so mediocre ballad songs with which chorus doesn't make sense to the verses and doesn't push up the song even higher. So I'm absolutely sad about it that he have this song and he just have only one song. Because
Yes.
as you said, many artists have 3 songs, 4 songs. Why they have so many songs? I think it's all belong to the producers of the show, people who are
Yeah.
selected this artist to go. It doesn't make sense for me at all. So I'm absolutely sad that famous, as you said, guy who probably is the one only person who won't really go to Eurovision and want to wave the Spanish flag and with something like this. It's
Yes.
pretty sad.
It is, yes. Lily Loves saying, what upsets me the most about OT is that Famous wants to go, and the song is just disappointing, that we were just saying about. I like Famous, very charismatic, and he seems like he's really entertaining a personality. I think so, too. It is also very important to be into Eurovision, not just because you have to do Eurovision, because you have to go through all the promotional stuff, going to potentially all the concerts, whether it's in Amsterdam, in London, and all the other ones in Israel that take place all throughout the Eurovision season. But not just for that, you have to go on TV shows, nationally, internationally, promoting a song. And if your heart isn't really in it, it kind of sucks. Granted, one thing people, Eurovision often, and I think especially you, Sebastian, coming from Poland, knows better than anybody else, the contest has a certain reputation with the average viewer because it's always being, negatively portrayed in the media. But once they're getting involved with it, people tend to love it. Then they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize how awesome this is and what it all entails. So I have a feeling it could similarly happen in Spain again this year. But I wish they would send people who are really into it. I mean, I assume I'm correct with Poland. It has a certain reputation there as well, right? The contest.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. We are trying to fight with it the most possible ways, the most possible weapons as we can do it. But fact of the matter is that reputation of Eurovision in Poland go very low from years. And fortunately, we have Michał Szpak on the road. Fortunately, we have Kasia Moś. And fortunately, we have right now Gromi and Lukas Meyer. So this knowledge about the Eurovision, fact that this event brings some many good music, bring good composers, bring some good artists, is still rising. And hopefully it won't change. Especially that Roxana Węgiel won Junior Eurovision. So it's also
that is true. Poland,
leverage for us. Huge, huge.
Yeah, not to get off to the topic too fast, but I do want to say, because I talked to some other Polish folks as well in Lisbon, and they were just saying, we really need Poland to qualify this year. They didn't in the end, but we need to. Not because for selfish reasons, but we just know if we don't qualify at this point, people will be so upset and, again, poo-poo on the contest so much because they're still not quite there yet to understand that sometimes your song just doesn't qualify because it just didn't click. But that's what's the biggest fear, that Poland could withdraw because of that. Not because they were like, we're Polish, we want to qualify. It has more of a long-term kind of thinking on it. So that was a very interesting thing. Anyway, so let's go back to Spain real quick. So we talked about Famous. Obviously, he's the one that we all talked about, but it's very difficult to judge these songs, and I had a few days to marinate over them. Guys, if you haven't seen them yet, I have a reaction video there, about how I felt about it. But, sometimes you change your mind a little bit about certain entries. Before I talk about mine, Sebastian, tell me, which were your favorites based on the 1-minute snippet that stood out to you and you think could stand a chance? Again, granted, there's always that you don't know what's going to sound like the 3 minutes and the potential revamp, but just based on the first impression, which one stood out to you?
Hopefully Spanish viewers of our stream and your amazing job won't be very mad at me right now, because I have huge problem with the Spanish song this year, as much as I have mostly problem with Spanish songs, because most of them are very similar to each other.
Yes.
Many of them try to use electronic instrumentals on the chorus. Many of them have problem that when we go from verse to chorus, melody doesn't change, tempo doesn't change. Many of them try to use a Spanish guitar. Many of them are ballads. So it makes some feeling that you are listening to the same song sometimes, especially when you would draw a random order, that you are listening to very similar songs for the 10 minutes, not 1 minute for the snippets. But from my notes, which I done, my third place, if you're gonna talk about top 3, maybe this is gonna be the easiest one.
Sure.
My third one was Carlos Wright, Sete Nota. Sorry for my Spanish, everybody.
Still better than mine.
This is... Thank you so much. This is the song which you rate last. It's pretty summertime chill radio song, which I like on this, because Eurovision need to have this kind of very easy, very not forgettable songs, not too ambitious. It's really good mix when this kind of songs go with each other. And what I note, these electronic moments which happen in chorus make sense. So we have his vocals, we have electronic elements, we have everything what this song can do to be sure that's gonna be hit in Spain, Italy, Greece, but also Ukraine, Poland, Russia, and everywhere in the world.
Okay.
So I think that with this song and with quite good staging, Mr. Carlos Wright can be right.
I know.
Spain in the Eurovision
it just screams for puns, that name, yes. Okay.
Exactly, her name just make a catchphrases. Right. That's what I thought.
Who else? Who's your number two?
My second position is like yours. So Mickey's with song Lavenda. When I heard it for the first time, I was just imagine the Spanish guys who are trying to catch the bull in the street of Barcelona, Valencia. Some kind of melody which you can saw on the cartoons or some TV series from Spain. It's pretty cool because it's absolutely different than the other songs. It's pretty fun song, really up-tempo one.
Yes.
So melody goes so fast with his vocals. So it's really catchy. It's really catchy in this positive way. So I think that this song, I just wrote it and call it stupid but fun. Maybe it's not stupid. Maybe I'm
I get what you're saying. It's a little bit more, not goofy even. It's just a little bit more fun. It's a little bit less pretentious, whatever you want to call it. Now, I did point out in my video, my first reaction, I still think it just screams though like a jury loser to me. You know, I mean, it just seems like the kind of song that juries probably will not go for. That doesn't mean I'm right or that it should discourage you, but I just seem like I don't think they will like that kind of song. But I could be wrong. Anyway, but who's your number one?
And this is a completely different choice from yours, because as I remember, you choose Murder Me.
Murder Me, yes.
Okay,
what's yours?
This song truly Murder Me. I make a different choice, and it's Alba Reche, if I correctly said that, Quesera Luego. This song, for me, take us to some kind of Magdi Róża from Hungary. I don't know that you remember, of any one of you folks. Helsinki 2007.
Yes, Unsubstantial Blues. Of course.
Perfect song. One of my favorites one, with this jazzy blues rock elements. Phenomenal. And when I listen to the Quesera Luego, I have this feeling that some soul, some spirit of Magdi comes to the Alba. This song is really jazzy sometimes, very melodical. It's just digs something inside me. This song has some kind of quality and elements which we can just develop and make a bigger platform when we're gonna do great staging on this little stage in Tel Aviv.
Yes.
So from my point of view, I catch my fingers very close for Alba, because for me, she has natural, great voice. I think she's also a beautiful girl from pictures what I saw. So I think it's a full ready package to just send her to Tel Aviv and make sure that Spain won't be
interesting.
last.
Yes. So when I did my reaction video, I don't know, a week ago, 5 days ago, I don't remember. I didn't know anything about the favorites, who likes who, because I'm trying to stay away from it so it doesn't influence me in any shape or form. So as you said, I picked Murder Me, Muérdeme, or whatever you want to pronounce it. But it'll always be Murder Me for me, by Maria. As it turns out, apparently, I'm more with the majority here. I think this appears to be the actual fan favorite. So I think that is very interesting, which I'm glad that I'm not the only one. Again, I'm not, I have to wait for the whole 3 minutes and the revamp. People are saying, and I'm not saying it is true, because I did not watch Operacion Triunfo, but people are saying that she is not the best live singer, which surprised me, because she is in Operacion Triunfo. Don't they all know how to sing? How did she make it that far if she cannot sing? She's not the greatest singer, and she doesn't even really want to go to Eurovision at all. So that would be a slightly a downgrade there. So aside from your personal taste, Sebastian, looking at Muérdeme, is that something that would probably more have the mass appeal? Not just based on your taste, or you think the other ones are still a better choice?
In case of what people like, what people try to find every year on Eurovision, I absolutely agree with you that it's one of the potential winners. strictly looking for radio-friendly hit, for repeatable chorus, which when you are heard for the first time, you're gonna sing it to the end.
Yeah.
It's really, really okay. It's really, really okay song. And with good positioning in random order or drawing in case of what's gonna be the number on the grand final, when Spain gonna appear on the stage and which country is gonna be before the Spain and
Yes.
after Spain, it can make a job. Absolutely. It's
Yes.
still better than Do It For Your Lover. So I think the
Do
Spain
it.
can be safe about
Please.
it.
No song is better than Do It For Your Lover.
Really?
It's so bad. I was like, and yes, just to wrap this up, also, I agree with that. Yes, granted, I'm biased because I like the song. I think it has the most potential. But as a naive, judgy foreigner, when we think of Spanish music, and I think I can speak for a lot of Europeans and international people, when we think of Spanish music, we want to have that Spanish fire like Contigo had. And I feel as this one would kind of really bring that Spanish sound that we all love to the contest. And they usually do well with that kind of music at Eurovision. So I think this would definitely be the best option for them. Objectively, granted, we don't know if she's going to do a good job live and how the full thing going to work. But I do think this just has the most potential to be a banger. Whether or not it's going to pan out in the end, we shall see. But do you have any other final thoughts on Spain, or should we move on to La France?
We will do to France. I'm just want to say one thing that I'm really, really interested about how this song's gonna work live, as you said, because it can change a lot of things, especially when some of the songs are similar to each other. So one of the artists gonna stand out more than others. So absolutely, even if we are kind of people who are maybe we are not. I think that you're not thinking that way, and I'm not thinking that way. It's gonna be the best preselections of this year.
Yeah.
But still, it's pretty interesting how it's gonna roll out when we're gonna see these songs live, because most of these people are really, really good singers live. So
Yes.
they're gonna put their charisma, authenticity, to make sure this song's gonna be better and better. So yes, I think it's from all me.
That is a very good point, because this one is, as you said, it's just a very difficult national final to judge for the reason we just mentioned, because we only have 1 minute clips and they're mostly demos, and I feel as there will be more to come for us, and maybe they'll surprise us. So let's just wait and see. Let's not get too upset or happy at this point. Let's wait for the show next month, but at least we'll see if our predictions or our thoughts will be actually accurate at a later point. Anyways, let's move on to France. Destination Eurovision. Again, Destination Eurovision. I know I want to make any puns about your website, Sebastian, but
please try,
I can't help
please
it.
Try. We have fun, so don't worry.
Just a quick explanation to those who are not familiar with the French selection. It's the second year that they're going to use Destination Eurovision. 2018 was the first time. It's basically a bunch of entries being thrown in there. It sounds kind of rude, of course. People put forward their songs, and then they're being chosen internally, and they're being put into 2 semis, 9 songs in each semi, and I believe 4 of the songs move on to the finals, and then we have 4 from the first, 4 from the second semifinal, and then 8 in the grand final competing for the final points. And last year, the semis were actually pre-recorded, and it was 100% jury vote. So the televoters had no say whatsoever on who is moving on to the finals. That is going to change this year, as all shows are being broadcast live, and the televoters will have a significant say in who moves on and who does not. So the reason why I'm really excited about this, because Destination Eurovision was very popular last year. The quality of the songs were considered to be very high, so expectations were really high as well. Madame Monsieur, Merci was a very popular song amongst the Eurovision fans, even though they only finished in 13th place, which is like midfield. I don't think it was a flop in that sense, because sometimes results only mean so much. You should look at, the quality of the music as well. Were you a fan of Merci, Sebastian? Did you like Merci?
I was on the middle of this wave, so I'm not a hater, but I'm also the biggest fan of this song.
Mm-hmm.
I can call it that way.
Yeah, I liked the song. I did, but it was not my favorite on the selection either. There were so many songs that I love, but that's the thing. The selection was so strong that year in France that it just had to happen. So the question is, This year, we're going to go for the same thing again. 19 acts. I already did my initial reaction video to it, and now I had a few days to marinate over it. So, just your first impression, Sebastian, without even telling me who you liked, who you didn't like. Do you like the selection in France?
I love the format. France show Poland and many other countries that if you find a good way to present Eurovision, if you find a good platform to show artists, producers, composers, that if you find a really, really good way how to just encourage people that Eurovision is great event and give you a lot of chance to exposure,
Yes.
you can do it very well. So Destination Eurovision, it's really, really great standard project, TV project. I really like the people who we saw on jury. I like Garu as a host. He's really popular vocalist in Poland for many, many years. Mm-hmm. So everything just add to the case was perfect. So for me, it was really, really good pre-selections, and me and like many other people have huge expectations what we're gonna have this year. And unfortunately, I think that music level unfortunately drops down this year.
Oh, really?
After a very good debut. Yeah. And I think my thoughts about it just is this one, that these songs this year are much more close to each other in kind of music style. Mm-hmm. If kind of how the production values comes. I found that last year we have truly pop song. We have some little bit, not even little bit. We have electronic vibes, but we have also a song called Lisboa Jerusalem, which we cannot just put it on the, me too, which we can't put on the pop or jazz or blues or soul shelf. Yeah. It's kind of mix of many elements. We have June the Girl, her song was really, really electronic, but I also really like it. I think the divided of the music style is much more significant last year, or this year as we can count it. So this one is much more pop electronic thing.
That is true. Yeah, I personally, in my view, I love a lot of music because it just happens to be my taste in music. But I give you that overall the songs are a little bit more in the same kind of category style-wise. There's less diversity in styles what we had last year, and that is a very valid point to bring up. It is true that they feel. I'm not sure if they just felt as this is the kind of music they should go with. I was actually once I listened to them all, I was like, you know what? I wish they would have had more of the song you just mentioned, that kind of style that stands out a little bit more and just adds more to the diversity. But in my initial reaction was like, I enjoy this music. A lot of these songs make me very happy. But I feel as a lot of them could potentially drop in my ranking after the show because I don't know how good these performers are, and a lot of them are radio-friendly songs. And will they live up to the expectations? Like live, will that work live? You have to really be able to deliver. So let's go for just your top three real quick. First, your third place. Who did you put in third place? Do you have one, or you didn't rank them?
I ranked them already.
Okay.
With some problems, but I ranked them.
Okay.
For me, the third place is Shimen Badi. My French is also like the Spanish one, so please forgive me that.
Okay, that's quite all right.
Her songs have really good... Yeah?
Yeah, La Haute is her name, or La Haute, or whatever you pronounce the French, right?
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
No, that's the name of the song. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Shimen Badi. Okay.
Thank you so much. You make my life easier right now.
No, I don't pronounce... I was just saying how the name of the song. I don't know how to pronounce it either. Go ahead.
Okay. I like this song from... If we talk about the production values, the song is really, really great. I think that singer with her team find really proper, good way just to build up the bridge of her voice, composition itself, and the lyrics, because I'm trying to check what is this song all about. Yeah. So fact of the matter is, this is for me one of the songs which really stand out, and I really congratulate her to make some good song, which I think gonna be very easy just to build up as much more better product with the live, because I think that lady have great talent, so it's gonna be just piece of cake.
Yes.
To make it better and better.
Interesting. Okay, no, I could. It's definitely one I high up on my ranking as well. I haven't done actually proper ranking yet because I find it so hard right now. But that's your number 3. Okay, that's fair. Who's your number 2?
For me, it's lady called Gabriela. I think, yeah, Gabriela.
Gabriella. On cherche encore. Never get enough. Okay. Oh, that's yes. That one is good. Yes.
First of all, it's one, I think it's second song or third. I think we have 2 or 3 songs. We have some English elements in the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So this is songs from this point stand up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really, really catchy. Really, really catchy. Very vibey, melodic melody song with just push up with the higher notes, with the higher bumps, which make you tap, which make you dance, which make you happy. It's pretty outstanding song from it. And I think that her voice is working pretty well because not every artist can do some
Yes.
good things with this kind of build up. She's doing very well, and I think that with that recognition that it's have French elements but also have English elements, more people gonna know about the lyrics, more people gonna understand it, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be very beneficial to France starting in the grand final. So for me, it's really, really cool proposition to go to Tel Aviv.
Yes. Okay. And then only the question remains. As of right now, who did you put in first place?
In case of this all snippets, I will put Simon.
Oh,
So ginger
yes.
hair lady with
Yes.
very
To
beautiful
le deux.
French ballad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I remember when Patricia Cass come to save France after few disappointing years
Yes. Yes.
and bring some fundamental French song with so class and vibe. And when I'm listening to the song of Simon, I see the potential. I see her on the middle of the stage when staging is not really spectacular, just simple. And I can see that people go through these emotions, go through this authenticity of her performing there. And I think it's gonna be really, really cool way to just continue what Madame and Monsieur done in
Yeah.
Lisbon with Mercy. It's gonna be really great continue about that. But to make sure that I'm be considered well, Bilal, who is with us, hello once again, Bilal. I like really quality of this song, and of course, Madame and Monsieur help her
Yes,
to
I
compose
didn't
this
know
song, to
that.
write the
That's
lyrics.
surprising to me because it's very different from Merci. So interesting. I'm just going to share because after I said like I love 12 songs, right? After a couple of days, I narrowed them down to 4. I feel very strongly about. The other ones I still like, so I don't want anyone to think the other ones aren't good. But 4 of them really, really stood out to me, and one of them, as you pointed out, was for me Simone as well. I think it had this magic that it's very difficult to grab you in such a short, in like a 1-minute clip, where you just have basically piano and a voice. Yet it felt so French, so authentic, and it's such. I was just like, I don't want to talk. I just want to listen to her, and it gives me this old French movie vibe thing. I'm like, oh my god, it is so beautiful. I want to see if she's gonna pick it up, like 2 minutes into the song, where she adds maybe like some strings or something like that, or she's going to stay as quiet and simple, I guess, for lack of a better word. But I completely agree with that. To me, this one really stands out. The more I listen to it, like Bilal songs, I'm not just saying because apparently Bilal is the fan favorite to win right now. That doesn't always mean the fan favorite wins, but I get, when I say that, I get like, and I said it in my first reaction as well, like this anthem. Like I feel like rise like a phoenix when if he can sing this live like that, I think he can really catapult this to another level, and that's what it comes down to. I want to hear this whole thing live. This comes down to the live performance, but if this is really being delivered right, certainly charisma and stage presence is needed with that performance. So you cannot just be like, I, na na ga ga da da da. You have to be really, really like, say like, I'm gonna shine. So you really need to be able to deliver that. And if that is going to come across, I can see really good things for that song. And the more I listen to it, the more it's getting better and better. So I really think that this one could do really well. So I can see why people gravitate towards that one. Absolutely. And it has a very positive message. And I love songs that focus on, the good stuff. It doesn't mean every song has to be happy. I'm just saying, it's always something that I feel good about. I also like a lot of other songs. One of them that really stood out to me, and now I forgot the name. It's the one oh shoot, I wrote down the name and now it's gone. It's basically the operatic song, Apasio, I think Battista Acquavina. It's
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
stands
yeah.
out. It's not for
Uh-huh.
everyone, probably, it will probably be more polarizing, but I appreciate, once again, it's different than the other songs. And that is actually the theme that you pointed out. I like the songs that have a little bit more of a character, and this one certainly does. Again, this may really come down to the live performance. I don't know how juries will respond to it. They tend to ignore that kind of music usually, but it is grand, and I love me some grand music. And they need to bring out the backup vocalists a little bit more to really, really make it like whoa. But I'm a big fan of that one as well, as far as what I know right now, and hopefully, they're gonna deliver. And then the last one I just really love, and it's just like Aisat is her name, Calm Un Grande. It's just like so, it has like the African beat vibes to it. It's upbeat, but the melody, it grabs you immediately. And out of all the radio-friendly songs, this one to me has the best hook and the most standout, unique character as well. So those are the songs that to me, as of right now, stand the best chance and I like the most. I am just praying to the Eurovision gods that they're not all gonna end up in the same semi. Because that would always suck. It happens to me all the time that
Yeah.
all my favorites are in the same semi, and you know some of them will not make it. So, guys, in the chat, by the way, let us know if you have any questions at ESC United. Make sure you put that there so those questions will stand out. Do you think there's a one of the things that you pointed out, though, and not to call you out, but you said, they're all very radio friendly, but there's this one song, and I forgot the name of it, that has like this really fun French vibe to it, and I forgot the name of it, this one as well. Oh, I should have written down. Was it not Maestro? Who was it? He was like, he was like, do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, gosh.
Sylvia Narek, maybe?
Yes, I think it's the guy. On the picture that I have right now, he's at the bottom third to the left. I forgot the name of the song, but his song sounds very French. But then he raps during the verses a little bit. Do you know which one I'm talking about? I forgot which one that was. Thank you very much. I can't wait to be on the stage and perform the song on stage, and I truly hope I won't disappoint. We are preparing a really empowering performance. Can't wait for your review. Thank you, Bilal, for coming in and sharing your thoughts. I think you are in it to win it, absolutely. Impress us on the Destination Eurovision stage. Make it grand. Give us what we need, that heart and soul, 110%. That's what I'm asking for, and I think you can go really, really far. My fingers and toes are crossed, and there's a reason why you have so many fans. Like, I put up my video, my reaction video, my initial one, it was like, bila, 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 bila. I was like, oh my God. That's when I realized because I didn't know until that very point that who would be the favorite, because I didn't want to be, influenced by that. So, wish you the best of luck. And of course, everyone else, we want to be fair to all participants. I think that there's a lot of good music out there. Anyone that we missed out that we should point out?
I think that I will talk some good things about Florina song, because it's full English, so it makes me easier to just understand what the song is. I think she's a really talented lady with really, really good voice. And I'm also really curious what we're gonna see on the Destination Eurovision stage on the semi-final. How the song gonna develop live. And as much as I'm happy about the fact that you also mentioned Battista, because also I read the song.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good song, which also can be easily and transition to fight for the win. Like the duet Lautner, if I correctly said. One guy with the violin, one second with the guitar, if I correctly remember. They also have very fun, chill, cool song. Maybe it's not the good comparison, but I feel some kind of same elements with Max Cinnamon last year. It's also a pretty cool song with no maybe powerful build-up, but really good to listen. With the Lautner duet, I hear the same thing.
Yes.
So I also have 7-8 songs, which is really, really good.
Yes, absolutely agree. Yes, no, I totally get it. That's why I don't know what's going to happen in Destination Eurovision. It's going to be so. I'm really excited about the show, and we still have a couple of. I think January the 12th is when the first semifinal will take place, and everyone out there will have a pre-show and a post-show here on ESC United, the live stream. So we're going to talk about it before, and we're going to be then analyzing the results. Hopefully, you will tune in and. Just making sure. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when we are live, because we're going to be on live a lot. So this is what, let me get rid of the graphic here for France, because I think we've talked this one through. Now, the last thing, before we open, we're already way past our time here. Jesus, you talk too much, Sebastian. Is there anything you want? Okay. Is there anything that you would like to?
You can put the blame on me.
I know, I will do that. Is there anything that you need to address on your end that you wanted to talk about?
First of all, thank you so much for your chat activity. It's really great fun to read all your comments. And especially thank you so much, Bilal, for joining us. We see that you have a lot of fans, as Matt said. So clearly, if we're gonna just think about the favorites to win Destination Eurovision, you are the favorite. So thank you so much that you're joining us all. I think that we can just touch a little bit topic of the Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yes.
So the topic which is very fresh in case of this live stream, and about their hope to come back to the Eurovision in 2020 because of lack of funds right now. Always when we have this topic comes to our minds when the discussion starts about Bosnia and Herzegovina, when sometimes we are thinking about returning of the Turkey to the Eurovision Song Contest, and many other different countries were participating in the Eurovision in the past, or trying to come back, or trying to debut. I always have in mind that EBU, as the organizer of Eurovision Song Contest, try to do as much as they can to make sure these little countries can find their way to the Eurovision. The number of countries of the Eurovisions are getting bigger and bigger, but not so much in case of thinking about countries like Australia, with my all of to Australia.
Yes, and before you actually can, let me just read, because what Sebastian is talking about is, we just reported it last night, is about Bosnia and Herzegovina. We all know they're not going to take part in 2019, and the head of delegation actually just made a statement on one of the Bosnian news outlets. I'm just going to read you that real quick to give some context here. She said, the return of Bosnia and Herzegovina to Eurovision depends mainly on finance. For example, it depends on BHRT, which is the Bosnian broadcaster, operates, and whether they will be able to pay back their debts to the EBU. When we find the money and start to pay off debt, then we can talk with the EBU about a possible return to Eurovision. So at best, we can be back in 2020, but due to the fact that BHRT is still in trouble and that very few people have paid any fees, it will be difficult to go. So the head delegation doesn't believe that Bosnia will be back in the near future due to the financial situation. Go ahead, Sebastian. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there.
No problem at all. So, as I said, I will be very glad if you will try to put the charge, try to navigate to these countries which we are in the past in the Eurovision already, or just want to debut and they are located already in Europe. With no offense to Australia or other countries, but we're gonna have right now Eurovision Asia, which gonna debut next year.
Hopefully,
it's gonna take place. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully, topic move on, so we keep fingers crossed to make it sure it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Like we also have Afri Music Song Contest in Africa, so idea of Eurovision is going wild and taking another continent. So hopefully this time when we're gonna have this many stages, many occasions to showcase your talent, I'm really hopeful that Bosnia and Herzegovina, Slovakia, if I correctly remember, even the Luxembourg or Kazakhstan, which was kind of talk about the potential Eurovision debut, this kind of cast you're gonna brought in, because as much as I love the Eurovision idea, I would love it much more with these countries on board. We are right now thinking about Bosnia next year, maybe Turkey is starting to navigate about debuting in Eurovision Asia and coming back to Eurovision also next year. So we will see what Eurovision God just have in common for us, what he's trying to do with some countries, and hopefully it will happen, because I understand that financial issues is really connected with the government, with the law in the countries, with how the television is situated.
Exactly.
Per year, by the finance, by the budget. So it's really complicated thing. It's not only our wish list.
Yes,
we want
absolutely.
These countries and we're gonna appear.
And yeah. The thing is, also when you said the money thing, that said the amount needed to participate in Eurovision, according to the head of delegation, is estimated to run between 250,000 and 300,000 euros. And that is a big chunk of money. It may not be a big chunk of money to NDR in Germany or BBC in the UK. That's like pocket change for them. But for a smaller, less rich broadcaster like the Bosnian one, that is a lot of money. Like, that is gigantic just to have, for 1 year. And I mean, it's a lot of money to me because I'd love to have that kind of money. But, from a broadcaster perspective, that is definitely not just a amount that you can play around with. And that is basically what the broadcaster, the head of delegation, said. In addition to that, the situation is clear. Bosnia and Herzegovina will return to the continent when debts are resolved and when they resolve the issue of funding public services in Bosnia. Since June 2016, the law has not resolved the issue of financing. Therefore, the broadcasting service must first find a model of an efficient collection of media fees, which could at some point result in positive and profitable business, and therefore the inclusion of the Eurovision Song Contest in annual plans. Now, do you think, Sebastian, because they have to figure out, the broadcaster, because they have so much debt, what is their priority? Should Eurovision for a small country like that be a priority, or more local national broadcasts should take the lead and not worry about the actual contest? Do you have an opinion on that?
From my perspective, as a huge fan of Eurovision, it's always good to be on Eurovision because it's not only the music thing. You promote your country, you maximize the tourism, you maximize so many things which can, at the end of the day, help your budget, just bring people to your country. It's the showcase of your culture, of your identity. So with so many things go to Eurovision. Maybe some people don't trying to think about it, but the Eurovision itself, it's a huge platform on many levels. So for me, of course, it's gonna be lovely if this country is gonna debut, gonna come back. And EBU try to more powerful help them to make sure, especially the small countries, with the rule that can be helped some way somehow. But after the time they need to refund this money, they need to give it back. I can't say right now about some kind strict legal law or rule. But fact of the matter is, I would love to make sure that EBU are looking for the money, but also humanize more. To the think of to the idea of the countries who really want to come back, to make sure they're gonna come back. Hopefully it will happen someday somehow. I don't know, it's gonna be 2020, but we will see.
Yeah, we don't want a repeat of Romania 17, when they were eliminated the very last minute, right? It was just like,
it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah.
It was not a fun thing to witness. It was 16, not 17. 17 was the Yodel song. Yeah, it's all a blur now. I do think. So it would be horrible. I understand money makes the world go round, and you cannot just put on a show without proper funds. And I understand that the Big Five, that's one of the reasons why they are the Big Five, put the most of the money into the contest, and now Australia gives us a good amount of money as well. So I understand that there is an aspect of it, but I also believe that smaller countries in particular, should prioritize the contest as much as possible. Not just for selfish reasons, because I love the contest, but where else do you get to hear? No one knows Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I don't mean that in a condescending manner, but I mean, people know about the country, but they're not like in the Olympics. They don't have any artists in except like in the ex-Yugoslavian area, but nothing like in the Germany, anything west of the former Yugoslavian countries. So this is a unique option for exposure for the artists and for the country in particular. And as you said, even not winning the contest puts it on the map. My friend here in the United States watches Eurovision on an annual basis, not like diehard like me, right? And he is now going to Bosnia and Herzegovina and Macedonia because of Eurovision. Because that sounds like a country that, and then he looked into it and he's like, I want to see these places. He's going to all these local places actually in the country, not like even not the big country cities. So because that's how he really found out. So that alone is it's the best promotion you can have.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
Lily Loss is saying, I think the EBU should try to get these smaller countries to be able to compete because it is really good exposure. Foreign artists from smaller countries, and Bosnia brings its own unique flavor. I think that basically summarizes what we just said, actually. That's exactly what we're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what else do you got on this one? Anything else you want to add about the money, the Bosnia and Herzegovina, and just a general participation in Eurovision?
Yes, I read in some chat comments that somebody bring Kosovo to the table in case of potential debuting at the Eurovision Song Contest, but unfortunately Kosovo is not even treated like a country in official way by Serbia and many other different participants in the Eurovision Song Contest itself. So it's much more complicated political situation with Kosovo, and I really believe that with Serbia, who we love songs, who love Serbia songs, who love Serbia competing in the show, they won't be very happy about Kosovo debuting. So it's unfortunately, as much as I hate mixing politics with the Eurovision,
we live in the real world.
Always saying that, yeah,
you
we live in the real world. So
yes.
Fact of the matter is that we still to drop something on the politics from politics point in the Eurovision, and Kosovo have no chance. And also, I'm not agree that some, because of the religious thing and many religious thing, we're talking about Muslims in the Turkey, comeback isn't possible because so many people gonna be offended through Ligzan Sandis comment. Turkey competing in the Eurovision for many years, and for many years songs are divided, maybe not that charismatic and not that kind of problematic for some reason for the Turkey, but Turkey take for years place in Eurovision, and they are still on it, and they are won it in 2003, if I correctly remember, or
2003.
2003.
Every way that I can. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You are singing very well, so I can't stop it. And they are really close to win it once again for few years.
Yes.
So I think it's just the thing of willingness to coming back, because I think nobody in EBU said Turkey, come on guys, we don't want you there. We don't want you there. No. We don't want your money and we don't want your music.
It was Turkey.
Of willingness.
It's Turkey's decision. It's also a political situation in Turkey with Erdogan and the way the country is currently going towards less pro-Western but less Western, and that the morals of the contest are not in line with the Turkish So it's more of a political thing within the country, because there are other countries like Lebanon trying to take part in 2005 and other year that couldn't take part because they cannot show Israel on screen, right? So they would have to blank out the Israeli performance for the reasons that they have, and they cannot take part in Eurovision because of those laws. So this is a very different animal than Turkey. Turkey doesn't have those laws per se. They are just, regressing in different ways at this point right now, and hopefully they will be back. It's not the EBU. The EBU made a statement even a few months ago after one of the Turkish broadcaster folks said something disparaging comments towards the contest and Conchita Wurst in particular. And they're always to welcome back. They did a great job hosting, and if they want to come back, please come back. So they're not like anti-Turkey or anything. It's really just the broadcaster's decision. And you have to, I'm not sure if you have to respect that, but you have to accept it because there's not much we can do about it. And about Kosovo, I also just want to add as well, Kosovo is a different situation. As well, you said, there are some countries, mostly Serbia only. Yes, they have some support from Bosnia and some support from other countries, but not as vocal, of course. It's mostly Serbia, for obvious reasons that we all know. There was supposed to be a vote this December, actually, to whether or not to accept Kosovo as a full member in the EBU. That has been pushed back to next June. So we will find out next June if Kosovo would happen, because if the EBU accepts Kosovo's broadcaster into the EBU, then they have the right to take part in the contest, and there's nothing that Serbia can do or any other countries to stop them if they're being voted into it. But of course, they have to get voted in first. That's the problem. But if they get voted on and they become a full member, then they have the right to take part, even if that were to mean a Serbia withdrawal, which I hope is not going to happen because we don't want that kind of politics. But we understand we live in the real world. So it's this whole participation thing. And what plays into what is so complicated and so complex. I need to do a separate podcast just for that.
Exactly.
But just to bring it back to Bosnia and Herzegovina, and money is here the issue. The EBU, I think they are trying to a certain extent to be flexible because Romania hasn't paid in quite some time. That's when they're kicked out. So I understand that people have to pay their bills. I get that. But if there would be other ways to kind of make it work, that would be my preference, I guess. And I see people talking about the Catalonia news. Catalonia is a very different animal. Catalonia is part of Spain at this point, even though they had that vote, the independence vote internally, which was not legally approved by Spain. This is such a complicated issue, the vote there. But as of right now, they cannot apply for membership. So I would be surprised if that were to happen. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's long way to Eurovision. It's really,
Yeah,
really long way from their position. Right now, they need to be the country, first of all, to make sure they're gonna be by regular basis contained as a EPU member. So it's pretty hard right now to determine it, maybe 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
World is unpredictable, of course, but right now it's completely different story.
Yes. All right, so while we're wrapping up, make sure now you can ask the Q&A, open Q&A session, anything you want to know about Eurovision, about whatever it is, post it now. Make sure you put it at ESC United so it will stand out. Eurovision Online is asking, did you hear that Il Volo have tour dates in Japan for 2019? I have tour dates in Japan. Yes, I actually said that in my last live stream last week. Guess you weren't watching, were you? Or maybe you don't remember. Maybe I said it somewhere else. I'm trying to remember. Yes, so Il Volo, as we all know, represented Italy in 2015, one of the fan favorites, myself included. And they taking part in Sanremo. And if they win Sanremo, they will be given the option to represent Italy again this year, or next year, technically, because there's 3 days left in this year. At Eurovision, however, they have a big tour already planned throughout those days, months actually, in Japan. So they may not go. What do you think? Do you think they will end up preferring going to Eurovision over the tour?
I think yes. If they're gonna have the truth, if they're gonna know that they won once again Sanremo in their career, I think they're gonna choose Eurovision because in the end of the day, even from financial point, it gives them more bonuses, even the Japanese tour. And sorry for all guys from Japan, it's nothing personal to you. But fact of the matter is, if they're gonna win, I think they're gonna just reschedule this concert in Japan and come back there, maybe in the glory of the winner of Eurovision Song Contest.
Interesting.
Anybody know what's gonna happen. But fact of the matter is that I think it's the thing you can move on, even if the tickets go rapidly fast and everything is planned.
I think that they're actually not going to go to Eurovision because rescheduling can be very expensive sometimes. It's not just like, I'm going to cancel it and book it at a different point. You can't just, I do it the next day. Those arenas are often booked. Now, I don't know how difficult it is in Asia and certain countries. We have to wait and see. I have a feeling that if they were to win, they wouldn't go because they're so big now. I don't know if they want to do Eurovision again because they may think, you know what, we won the televote by a landslide. The jury's downgraded us. They will probably do it again because we really haven't changed. At least they do some other more mainstream music right now, but they may think, I don't know if we're going to gain anything at this point. So I actually have a feeling that they may not be going to Eurovision, but I'm not sure. I am not sure. Okay, so other questions. Eurotrash is saying, do you think we'll get another confirmed artist before the year ends? Sebastian?
Maybe Belgium. We are a little bit spoiled that Belgium always trying to be the first on the line.
Or Austria. Belgium and Austria usually, yeah. But they haven't yet.
And it's crazy. It's something unusual for these countries in those years. We will see. I think that before the end of the year, it's gonna be pretty tough.
Nah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Because it's just 2-3 days left, so I don't think so.
Although,
I think the whole spectrum of... Sorry. I think the whole spectrum of announcement will drop on us like a bomb for Hiroshima in January.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to have lots of pre-selections concert. So I think January is going to be much more divided.
Actually, interestingly enough, I'm not sure if you remember, Sebastian, but last year, Georgia made the announcement basically on New Year's Eve, like right at midnight. The hour was, they were like right there, like, boom, by the way, Happy New Year. Every other the Eurovision website we got to talk, we got to work now. So it was kind of funny. So maybe something like that will happen again. Not in Georgia because they have a different show now, but that's kind of cool. All right, so next
Yeah.
question. Dark Vixen is asking, what's your thought on the new stage based on the Star of David in Tel Aviv, Israel? Dark Nick Vixen, we already talked about that earlier. That was the first topic of our live stream. So we discussed that in detail. Feel free to watch the actual replay of our video, and then you can get a lengthy idea of what we're thinking. So that's where we're at. Next question. Eurovision Online. Did you hear that Una Healy is rumored to represent Ireland in Eurovision? Do you know that person? Una
Honestly?
Healy? Yeah. No, lie.
No,
Now,
I
of
don't.
course, honesty. Tell me the opposite of what you know. No, you don't know that. I don't know that person either. That's why I was curious. I don't even know who that is. So you don't know either?
No, I'm
No,
sorry, but I'm not.
that's okay. Don't
I'm
be
guilty.
apologize. I don't know her either. So good for Una. Sounds like a woman. So good for her.
Keep fingers crossed.
I know, I don't want to be wrong. Okay, so Mfrem is asking, which countries do you hope do something different in 2019? I hope Sweden and Austria send a different entry. I agree with Sweden. Sweden, okay, I love Sweden. That was one of my favorite Eurovisions there. I'm sick and tired of them sending like these young men and that's nothing about being a young man, but you can be but it's a certain style that is catered to a certain subgroup of in demographic. Let's put it that way, a certain demographic, which I am most certainly not part of. I haven't really enjoyed a Swedish song, a winning song, in quite some time. It's been like 5 years or so, and I'm ready for something different. And for that one, I'm definitely on the same page. I don't know Austria. I don't know if I agree with Austria. Sends different songs, frequently. I mean, yes, it also had male singers now 2 years in a row, but it's not like it's a trend there. And they're saying good music and they're doing really well as well. So Austria, I don't know if I am on the same page. As far as like doing something different, I'm trying to think who else should do something different. Sweden is the first one that comes to mind. Iceland. I'm hoping Iceland's going to something different, not just because of Ari, because the song was boring, but just because the selection seems got a little stale and they're not trying hard enough. So I'm hoping they're going to give us something that really wows us, and they have the capabilities because they have sent some really good music in the past. But it feels as they lost their mojo, so I'm hoping that's going to return. How about you, Sebastian?
I absolutely agree with you all about the Sweden. We're gonna see Anna Bergendahl coming back after 8 years, if I correctly remember.
Technically 9 years because it was 2010, so 9 years, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So fact of the matter is I keep my fingers crossed for her at this time. Somebody mentioned Pagan Fury, so one of the most interesting artists and Melody Festival in this year. I love the comment which I saw in the day of announcing all the artists. Somebody who saw this photo of Pagan Fury just comment, "Go Ruslana! Thank you so much that you come back," because they are looking completely the same, like these guys from the time. So
That's
maybe,
funny.
maybe Sweden needs to change something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The question is, that's all for us selfish reasons because Sweden has been doing well. Like why would
Yep.
they change something that's not broken? They'll always end up in the top 10. Granted, you were in the press center when Sweden received 21 points and the reaction in there. So it was nothing I'll never forget. But I think what Sweden's going to happen is they may have to have a big flop. I think they need to hit rock bottom again like they've done before to really maybe change things up. Okay, so the Adventures in England. Love your name. Hey, ESC United, may I ask you something? What do you think about the Eurovision troll acts? I think of them as terrible, but something like Lithuania 2006, Ukraine 2007, or Latvia 2008 are good ones. I don't consider Ukraine 2007, first of all, a troll act. I think it's just a specific act. This was a serious song, and it was actually done really well. It was just a fun act. It was a comedic act. And I don't think comedic acts are necessarily default to troll acts. I find troll acts more like Estonia 2008 or something that they just, or Irlande 12 points, give me points, you bitch. That kind of stuff. That to me, these are like troll acts to me, and I hate those. But a comedic act to me, I don't necessarily immediately consider a gimmick act. I find more beautiful songs on the radio. That's more for troll act than anything. So I don't like the troll acts. I like smart acts, and I think I love good comedic acts that make me laugh, make me dance, make me giggle. And what about you, Sebastian?
I feel very similar. It's just we always need to find this song. We need to always rate this song by the individual thing. Sometimes these troll acts or comedy acts are working perfectly well. From some reason, I saw this as a kind of comedy act. I saw Slavko from Kiev. This song in the studio version is really addictive. It's really great dance song. But the fact of the matter is that when we saw him laying on the floor and kissing each other because his face on the stage, and he's looking like he's kissing each other, and he's doing this helicopter with his ponytail. we can't treat this as a comedy act. But fact of the matter is, for some people, it's gonna be something unpredictably bad.
Yes.
But some people think it's quite cool.
Yes.
I remember also in Kalto from Lithuania. It's probably 2010. With
in
the
Kulto,
song,
Lithuania, love it.
amazing song.
I love it.
With
He's in the running again this year, the singer in Lithuania. I'm super excited about that.
I know.
No, I loved ECP, but it was the silly staging in the song, but the song actually was not silly as far as like what the message is behind it. You know, there was a meaning behind the song, and that makes a difference. It comes really down to how you execute it. Ukraine 2007 exit because it came across as genuine and real, and people gravitated towards it. And it happens, but as you said with Montenegro, it didn't quite work. It doesn't work. People know when it works and when it's genuine, and when that don't. You cannot always put it in words. Okay, let's do this a couple more questions because I know we are running way over. I'm sure Sebastian has better things to do in life than just talk to me all day long.
Come on.
All right.
Come on.
One question by Felix Karapetian. Do you think that songs with East Asian influences can do well in Eurovision? Absolutely. Why don't you answer first? I always go first. Why don't you answer this one first?
I think it's always gonna be some curiosity behind these songs, how they gonna represent each other, how they gonna work on the Eurovision background. So for sure, the answer is yes. But matter of the fact, in case if Eurovision Asia gonna be a fact, it's gonna happen. I think that's more showcase of this kind of talents we're gonna see there in Australia for the first edition. So we will see how it goes, but for sure, more celebrating diversity, more unique sounds. Salvador Sobral just joking in Kiev that maybe one day we will see some reggae song with guy who trying to have a joint and smoke marijuana on the stage. Maybe this is something which gonna be unique at the Eurovision Song Contest, something which we never seen before. And maybe some more Asia vibes, more melodic things. Yeah. Maybe this is the thing to win. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure we had some Asian, Middle Eastern influenced songs like they were talking about, probably like Chinese, Japanese music. Not enough, in my opinion. I love that kind of music, and I think once again, it's kind of like what I take with the gimmick thing. If you do it right and it's genuine, it will work. People are smarter than you think when it comes to music. You cannot always put it in words. When the song is done right, it'll come across. It'll work. And you just need to do it right. And what people need to stop working on, it always bothered me when I watched the German national finals, is when they were talking about, oh, we need to do this in order to do well at Eurovision. You got to do this kind of this and this. Like, no, don't focus on what would work always at Eurovision. Focus on what would work for the artist and the song. And then it will work at Eurovision if it's done right. Look at some of the winners we had. Ukraine 2016, Portugal 2017. Those were not Eurovision-friendly songs. Do you know what I mean? That people would say, oh, they're going to win. It was genuine music. Whether or not you like them, it's a different story. I'm not even saying that. I'm talking about this is who they were as artists, and they stayed true to their art. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, let me just do one more question here. Oh gosh, there's so many ones. This is something about Adrian Fung. The problem with Melodiefestivalen is that only 10 girls vote, so we constantly get young male representatives. That is true to a certain extent, especially with the app voting that they have now. You know, that's definitely the young girls. However, I'm going to put a caveat out there. Especially in 2017, they voted for Nano, who's not like, I mean, he's also male, but he had more like a soulful, different kind of song that the televoters went for. They didn't go for Robin Bengtsson. That was the juries who give him a landslide victory. It's also the kind of music that juries gravitate towards. This fairly safe, middle-of-the-road pop music that is pleasant but doesn't break the mold kind of thing. And that is, I think, another thing why these songs keep being selected. Granted, Benjamin Ingrosso won also the Televote, so did Marcel Marlot in France. So I'm not saying that's not a factor. Absolutely, it plays a factor. But it's not the only thing that the girls are doing it. It's also the juries that really go for that kind of music. Do you agree?
Absolutely, with every word you said.
Yeah. Nothing else to add. Okay. Oh, there's one more question. Lily Love saying, in 2008 at the Germany's national selection, I remember that one. That's how long I've been watching this. They had a band that they met at an convention, and they were based off the Japanese music style called Visual Kei. I remember that. Wow, that was actually a pretty good song. I don't remember. I have to look it up again, but I remember the 2008 national final in Germany because the No Angels won, and I was a big fan of the No Angels. But I didn't like the song. And that they sent to Eurovision. I was like, that's the song they're gonna win with. They just won based on name recognition, not of song quality. So that would be my thing. All right, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. We went way over time. Sebastian, thank you for joining. Will you be back soon? Or did I scare you off?
No, it was a huge pleasure and honor for me to be with you today. One more little ad. From January 2nd at Destination Eurovision, we're gonna start with lots of live streaming, live chats, interviews, and a lot of programming for you. So please be sure to find us on Facebook, Destination Eurovision, like us, subscribe us, and I'm pretty sure that you're gonna like it, what you're gonna see there.
Once again, it's not the French national final.
I just always have to not related. I gotta do that.
No. Thank you so much for this disclaimer, because it's really important one.
I know, right?
Many artists and many people tag us as Eurovision friends, and it's pretty funny.
It's nice, good, free advertisement, but they'll kind of like, wait, that's not what we thought it was, you know? So,
of course.
Yeah, that is funny. All right, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you, and we'll be back soon. First of all, I probably won't have another live stream until the end of the year. Granted, it's through 2 days. So, Happy New Year. In German, it's Frohes Neues Jahr. How do you say it in Polish, Sebastian?
Szczęśliwego Nowego Roku.
What he said. So I'm Polish. I should know, but that's not how it works. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.